Thank you for choosing Burnt-Out Perfectionist. My name is Sarah.
And my name is Eve.
And today, Eve has prepared an outline because I was bamboozled.
Can we just talk about that? I've three episodes in a row. I've been the one making the outlines. I'm real prepared.
I just like to wing it.
Sarah, what was your thriving moment of this week?
Of this week? I don't know. I'm so fucking tired. I haven't been sleeping properly. I woke up at 3 a.m. yesterday and I felt like I'd been dropped out of the sky. And then this morning, I woke up and literally shot out of the recliner upstairs that I fell asleep in at 4:50 in the morning. I've not been getting good sleep. So that's my surviving moment. My thriving moment, I got a new phone. I know that's kind of lame for some folks, but I left myself a little unboxing. Apple makes it so satisfying. I got an Apple 14 Pro, and it has a terabyte hard drive. I was pretty excited about that because I love to take the pictures. And Eve nicely went out on a morning walk and got a screen protector and a case because apparently nobody has 14 Pro things. Everybody just has 14
or 15 Pro
Max. Or it's always the Max or the regular ones. Nothing in between. And usually we're pretty good at finding stuff at the Winners or Marshalls or any TJ Maxx affiliate.
Well, also, usually we order it prior.
Yeah. It came out of nowhere. There was no email or anything.
They just showed up. And I have a rule of not really, I just don't want to open it until I have a screen protector because
my hands sweat. I touch the actual metal of the phone and I get body tingles. I'm like, uh-oh, I'm gonna break it.
Yeah. So, not sleeping and phone.
Yeah, correct. It's a little bit of dopamine. The screen's a little brighter. The transfer process was painful.
Oh my God. I did it for 4.5 hours.
Yeah, and then it finally worked.
I had to restart it and then redo it.
But I'm not going to lie, when it did start transferring the data, it was so adorable with the little me emoji in the middle.
I didn't even have those.
What?
I literally just had transferring 8 minutes. That was my experience.
It was so cute. I was almost like, I should take a video, but I was like, I can't because...
What about your iPad?
They had all these little dots around my me emoji, and then it was mail, swirling around, and all of a sudden it was pictures and swirling around the little icons, and I was like, oh, that's so adorable. Some graphic designer had such a great time doing that at Apple.
True. My thriving moment of the week would be we got back to the gym yesterday.
Oh, yeah.
I don't want to say the same thing as phones because
she also got the same.
I got the same phone. But we got back to the gym yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
Slowly but surely. We took a wee bit of we only took a month off.
We took a month off. I think I was sick the whole time.
I was sick most of September, I think.
Yeah.
October.
I was sick. I had a cough or I was stuffed up. It's either sick or allergies or...
And then with your kids' hockey, we just never knew what it was.
Oh, yeah, no. That reminds me, I have to download and set the schedule to the family Google.
Oh, yeah. And then my surviving moment of the week would be... I don't really have one. I've been super poor. And pretty good. Yeah, I may sleep last thing.
I thought you meant I'm super poor.
I was like, I don't really have I wouldn't say I have a really surviving one.
No, you're not too cold, your skin isn't dry, none of that stuff.
That's me all year. That's not right. A surviving moment. That's just daily.
Oh my God, I have black towels and I dried my legs off and it was like a snowstorm.
Weather's been pretty good. I had a delightful. I want to do 2 thrives because
I love
that. Survive.
This is sweet.
I went to a coffee shop and I ordered a medium and they accidentally gave me a large and it was so delightful because I only had to pay for the medium.
Oh, that's a solid mistake.
So I was like, I saved money, girl math. And I got a bigger coffee because I was really in between of getting a bigger coffee, and I was like, no, like, I don't need a bigger coffee. And then I feel like it was just the universe telling me you need a bigger coffee, Eve. So we're recording this. I would say filming, even though I know we don't like film ourselves.
We don't film at this time.
That is November 22nd.
Yes.
But we'll probably be pre-recording because I work a lot in the holiday season. So this just makes my life a lot easier. But
So the holiday season is stressful.
and then also Sarah can pre-edit if she wants to, and then we can be prepped and ready and enjoy the festive season instead of being like, we need to sit in front of a microphone.
Yeah.
So we're going to be discussing the New Year's resolution.
Oh.
So I didn't even tell her what we were doing.
I was like, where's this episode going? Let me know. All I wanted to know was if there was a cookie in the pantry. There was a cookie and I wanted it really bad.
So I wanted to do a bit. I was interested to know where this I was interested to know where New Year's resolutions kind of came from.
Okay.
So they came back. The tradition of making New Year's resolutions has been a long variety of history dating back to ancient times. It was linked to the Babylonian culture over 4,000 years ago.
Jesus.
Babylonian
no, not Jesus.
celebrated the New Year in mid-March during the first new moon after the vernal equinox. During a celebration known as the anew, they made a promise to the gods in hope of earning their favor for the coming year. Similarly, it was then linked to the ancient Romans, who also made promises to the god Janus, for whom the month of January is named after. Janus was the god of beginnings and traditions and / transitions, after depicted with two faces. One looking back at the past and one looking at the forward future. Romans believed that they were making resolutions reflecting on the past year and then looking forward into the future.
You said Janus and all I heard is Janus.
Oh my god.
Chandler Bing.
The tradition coming through centuries, with various cultures adopting and adapting the practice. However, the timing of the New Year and associated customs varied. For example, medieval Europe, the New Year was often celebrated in March. We know that Chinese New Year is in January, usually like mid-January.
Mid-January.
Sometimes it shifts.
Yeah.
The shift to January 1st as the beginning of the New Year is attributed to the adoption of Gregorian calendar in 1582 by Pope Gregory the 13th.
Good God.
It literally said X and 3 eyes, and I was like,
must compute.
The Gregorian calendar, which was the calendar used for the most of the world today, was introduced to bring the date of spring equinox closer to March 21st. With the change, January 1st became the official start of the new year. New Year's resolutions, as we know them today, gained popularity in the 19th and 20th centuries. The practice became more widespread in Western cultures, with people resolving to improve themselves in various ways, such as adopting healthier habits, setting personal or professional goals, or bringing back habits. With the specific resolutions and cultural practices associated with the new year may vary, the underlying idea of self-improvement and reflection has just been throughout history. Today, making New Year's resolutions is a common tradition worldwide, with people using the start of the new year as a symbolic opportunity for personal growth and positive change.
Really? Is it really positive change? Because I feel like a lot of people are like, I want to quit smoking. I want to be in less debt. And I don't want to be fat.
Do you also want to laugh? I literally finished that, and right underneath I have Sarah reflects on her perspective.
Oh, really? Oh, look at me on topic. I think it's dumb. I think if you're going to do anything or feel motivated for doing anything, you shouldn't be saving it until January or until a new year. But that's because it's like, you can be like, oh, I'm going to completely redo blank. But I'm going to start, it's like Thursday. And you're like, but I'll start it on Monday. And then it never really comes around. Mm-hmm. Or the other thing that bothers me is when people decide to add things into their routine for a temporary amount of time, and it interrupts my time for the person who uses it all the time. It makes everything busy and annoying. And the mass amount of like purchasing culture that goes with it.
What do you mean by?
Too many people at the fucking gym. There's too many people at the gym, or like, you gotta go get something. It'll be like, someone's like, I want to drink more water. And I'm like, oh, I'll get like a new cup or something. They're all gone. Or I'll get this. And it's like, it's all gone. And I'm like, where the fuck is it? Everyone's like, oh, because this celebrity or the most common New Year's Eve resolution this year is people to quit doing blank. So now it's all sold out. And I'm like, but I used it. Oh, like when people decide they're going to cut dairy out of their lives, even though they have no dairy allergy, which I know like a lot of people do that sometimes for like different belief reasons, like being a vegan and stuff like that. But also like, vegan January is like a huge thing.
January?
What?
Could be January.
Sounds like vagina.
It's January and vegan stuff.
But there's a lot of like people who do that, and then they'll mass buy stuff or like when it's on sale, and I'm like, yeah, but like I don't have a choice, and I'm not doing this as a challenge. Like I literally need a milk alternative if I'm gonna have anything. Or
I think like there is, if people are making that change long term and it happens to happen in January, it's good because then it promotes like companies having more alternatives.
Yeah.
Like I think if you think back to like 2014, there wasn't a lot of like celiac friendly things.
Mm-hmm.
And now that it's become like, part of it is a fad, obviously.
Yeah.
But it at least gets people like thinking about non-dairy. Or, and by non-dairy, I don't mean lactose-free. I mean, like, non-dairy. Like, nothing that comes from the udders of a cow, form of non-dairy. It, like, helps with that. But I also just feel like once people see it become more popular by celebrities and stuff, the prices go up.
They always go up. Like, I would love to see New Year's resolution purchases versus Christmas and see which wins.
That's the other thing is I feel like Christmas is, a lot of people take it as like gluttony and greed.
Some people, I try to just like get stuff that would be like fun and cute, but I know what you mean. Like people just like,
they're like, oh my God, you can get, like fall, everything's pumpkin spice flavored. Winter, everything's peppermint. Everything's ginger. Everything's this. Oh my God, I have to try this. Oh my God, I have to try this. And you have 50 different types of ginger snap cookies or 50 different types of peppermint chocolate.
Mm-hmm.
You don't eat it, or you eat a bunch of it. You feel gross. And then you're like, oh my God, I really need to work on myself. And I want to lose weight. And then January, they're like, oh my God, this is the time.
I also find that a lot of people who don't drink a lot around the holidays. So probably laughing, 'cause there's a lot of people who probably do that because maybe they don't have the most healthy relationship with family members that they're around. But like there's a lot more, put Bailey's in your coffee or Clue in your coffee and stuff like that. And like whatever, like people are like visiting doing that. But I find, and we've spoken to this before in like previous episodes, that it's like almost more accepted. And then it's really interesting when it comes in after New Year's. Some folks wake up and they're like, oh my God, it was so weird. I didn't put booze in my coffee. Or they'll use that as the resolution because they drank in December but didn't really drink the rest of the year. They're like, it's going to be my New Year's resolution is not to drink. I'm like, well, are you going to wait till, well, but if I do it now, I'll just wait until like next Christmas. I'm like, that's all you do anyways. That's not a resolution.
I see with, in the Catholic Church, they have this thing called Lent, which is from Ash Wednesday to Easter. And it's when you give something up as like symbolic for when like Jesus gave up his life in order to protect people.
Yeah.
And there's a very like synopsis of it. If you want to learn more, Google.
There's a Bible app you can pull it up.
There's a Bible app. And people will be like, oh, I'm quitting. I'm giving up
sugar,
dairy.
Yeah.
Well, you're lactose intolerant. You should have given up dairy a long time ago. Like, it's the when it comes to Lent, it's like the symbolism of it. Like you're having to sacrifice something. And it's like when people are like, oh, I'm going to give up gum.
My favorite is, I'm going to give up sugar. I'm like, well, you should. You're diabetic. You should be eating sugar.
And like those two, like it's very, I have like a mixed perspective on it because I like the idea of having a like goal for the next year. Because then I'm like, I have something that I'm thinking about and thinking towards versus having, like, it doesn't have to be this like big life thing.
That, I think that's what bothers me the most is like the promotion of like, especially like given that we have social media and it'll be like, look at me, I'm doing this. I'm so much better of a person. Like there's a lot of just like, there's people who are motivated and you know it's genuine and other people are like, I'm doing this. And usually the people who are kind of shoving it in other people's faces, they're the ones who usually die off after like 2 weeks.
I also find that, like, I think probably this, like, next year I'll do, like, a mood board. Because then it's, like, you're working towards your future self.
Oh, yeah.
I think that the concept of when people who have never incorporated, like, regular gym exercise and they're like, I'm going to go to the gym every day, it's not, like, a super realistic goal. Just because, like, I saw, I watched this YouTuber, she's Australian, her name's LB, and she does a bunch of videos about motivation and like productivity and stuff. And she said that one of the psychologists she was listening to for like a TED Talk said, write down your goals, then say, why am I not completing these goals? Like, why are you choosing goals that are not easily incorporated into your life?
Yep.
You work 12 hours. You have to sleep 8 hours. You have maybe 4 hours of not doing anything. You gotta eat. You gotta do all of that. Why are you saying, okay, I'm gonna go to the gym for 2 hours?
That totally makes sense. Because that's what it is it's kind of like a balls to the wall or nothing method that usually happens with these is it'll be like, I'm going to read a book every week in January when they haven't read a book in 15 years.
Or they're like, oh, I'm going to
I'll join the gym and go every single day. And they think that you have to go for 2.5 hours a day. I mean, like if you're hardcore, cool, but don't start out at 2.5 hours. You're probably going to wander around most of the time being like, what am I going to do now?
Or the people that, then the consumerism part of it is, oh, well, I need to buy an entirely new outfit and everything to go to the gym.
Yeah.
We made a rule that when we started going to the gym about 1.5 years ago, that we had to go to the gym consistently for 6 months, which was twice a week for us. And then you could buy better gym shoes.
Yeah. And after the first year, I bought myself new gym shoes.
Yes.
Yeah.
But you can't just like, because then it's like, oh my God, I'm like making this my personality.
It's not even just making your personality. Specifically for me, it's because all I wear is athleisure. So if I get those legs for the gym or something specifically for the gym, and I'm not actually going to the gym, I can't justify them just sitting there. So then I'll start wearing them outside and then it defeats the purpose.
Yeah. Like I think, which goes into the next one. When we were doing Sarah's seasonal clothing changeover, which always seems to happen whenever you're out.
It's 4 times a year.
It is 4 times a year. We were sitting there and she was talking about how, and you can cut this out, I don't mind to see, how she wants to evolve her style.
Yeah.
And so we were going through all of her clothes, and I'm always honest whenever we're going through clothes.
Thank God. I hate when people are like, it looks great. I'm like, really? I feel like trash.
And it's not that I have like other intentions of wanting items. I'm like, no, that you don't look comfortable in that. And Sarah had expressed like, oh, I just don't know how to put things together. It was like something along those lines.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, okay. So we took everything out of her dresser, which is the IKEA dresser. 2 small top shelves, 4 medium size.
I don't fit my bras because my titties are so big. I know, it's such a pain. Such a pain.
And I went, oh, okay. So number one thing she wears, sweaters. So she has a sweater drawer.
Yep.
The next one is we went through and I separated her going out clothes, which is like going to dinner with moms.
Oh, I was like, it's not like I'm out here partying. It's like,
No, like,
it's like you're going to an event and you just want to not wear leggings and a hoodie.
exactly. So I separated those, and then I had more casual clothes / like gym wear.
Yeah.
In a separate one. And I do have to say, you did go to a mom's dinner.
Yes.
And you didn't wear leggings and a hoodie.
I know, because I wanted to be cute. And then I got several compliments, including one person who's quite fashionable that I know. And I literally looked at everybody and they said, a bunch of people were like, oh, you look so cute. I'm like, I feel like a Pinterest board.
But it's like completely separating the two things. So it's not like, oh, okay, well, I'm going out because, you know, I do this constantly. Oh, yeah, well, I need to go out somewhere. Okay. What am I going to wear? What's the level of professional?
Oh, that's perfect timing, because that just reminded me that I was going to look to see when trivia night was. Oddly enough.
But it's like, okay, well, what am I going to wear? Okay, well, this makes me feel pudgy. This makes me feel like a sausage. This makes me feel like this. This makes my boobs feel too big. I don't like this. This is too tight. And then it's 2.5 hours in, you're in a pile of your clothes, you've had 3 mental breakdowns, and you've decided you don't want to go.
Yeah.
And
just feel like a shelf of boobs.
Exactly. And so then it's like the whole process is kind of been ruined because you're like, oh my God, everything is just too much. So then you separated them all. And like, who said that a dresser needs to have identifiable drawers? Like, other than socks and underwear, I like throw those all together most of the time too. But like, if you feel like you would wear this top and these pants and these matching sets only together, put them together.
Yeah.
Why are you separating them? It's not a divorce. It's not a divorce set. So then I have broken down into, I should probably count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There's 10 kind of sections of questions. There's like 2 to 3 per.
Okay.
So the subject of one is reflection of the past year. What were your major achievements in the past year?
I started a podcast. Woo! I started a company with my sister. I kept my child alive. No, that's not one, is it? I got myself out there a bit more outside of like more in with my brain just
Socializing? Are we going to the socializing?
Yeah, that's where I was going with that. Socializing. Also, I haven't been a reader for a while, and I explained this in one of our previous episodes that like since having a concussion, I literally will turn a page and it'll be a brand new day. Or sometimes I get halfway through and I get bored. Or my favorite is I get halfway down the page and I fall asleep. So last year at the company that I was working at before I was laid off, they were like, oh yeah, we have these like books and stuff like that. And I love myself like a leadership coaching type book, right? I was like, oh, okay, well, this will be good because it'll have questions and stuff like that along with it. And then I was just like, oh no, I'm gonna fall asleep. So then I figured out after testing out Audible for like 30 days that it worked for me. And what I do is I either read the book and have the Audible version playing, depending on what kind of device I'm on. If I'm on my phone, then I just have like the Kindle app or whatever, and you can highlight it. And if you do English to English translate, you can actually listen to it. So I did that. And so it's kind of a way just like to incorporate something different. Added more podcasts to my roster. And I just kind of intentionally listen to them when I'm doing like cleaning or something like that. Because we all put on those YouTube videos or those movies that we want to have, you know, just in the background when you're doing stuff. And then you end up kind of sitting on the floor, surrounded by all the shit that you're trying to sort, staring and watching the movie and avoiding it. So there's that.
What were your challenges during this year and how did you overcome them?
So I got laid off. Well, there's just like the usual things. There's like death.
There's... Someone died this year?
Brandon died.
Oh, shit.
Which was sad. Like, It was a friend that I had from like years ago, and I'd seen him not long before he passed away, just randomly at the mall, and I was just like, oh, I should totally like see what he's up to. He's always fun. He was really great with kids and stuff like that too. He loved his two nieces. So it was just kind of like those kind of things. Also, like watching one of like my good friend go through a bunch of shit this year in the past, like she's done with 2023. Heather is moving on. And just kind of seeing stuff like that. I don't know. We got rid of mass, which I would say is a positive. And then they came back at your work. But
yeah. Are there any patterns or trends in your behavior or experiences that you'd like to address?
Patterns of behavior. Don't be good at your job because you get laid off anyways.
My major achievements of the past year were starting a podcast.
Yeah.
Starting a business. Learning how to crochet.
Yeah.
I've assisted with 4 weddings. I planned a wedding.
Yeah.
This is pretty much it. I was trying to think.
You're bakery adjacent.
A bakery adjacent. Yeah. Just randomly. You want to ask me?
Just being employed to make cupcakes.
Literally.
Yeah.
I just bring them into work sometimes. What challenges did you face and how did you overcome them? I had a lot of difficulty with not recognizing that because if I put so much given doesn't mean other people are going to put as much given, and that coming up with good ideas commonly means that you're going to be shit on and attacked.
Oh.
So my challenges was just having to not put as much emphasis on that, and if somebody didn't like something, just to say like screw off instead. I also found that a lot of the times this year, a lot of people that I've surrounded myself with have lost like parents, and they've come to me and talked about it.
Mm-hmm.
And that I have gotten like backlash for how I speak about like our dad's death. Like I'm very like chill about it, and then people will be like, well, like, did you not care?
We were also brought up in a very like jokey family. So like,
yeah, so there was just like a lot of those comments that I just had to like figure out what I'm going to do with them.
Yeah.
Also, my childhood friend died 2 months ago, so that was another fun one to process because he was one of the people that he wasn't the person I saw every day, but when in doubt, he was like one of the nicest people ever, and like it was just shitty to see because his like parents are super sweet, and so is the sister. Just like I felt like extra shitty for them.
Yeah.
And it was like, well, like I lost him, but like you lost him.
Yeah.
Are there any patterns or trends in your behavior or experiences that you'd like to address? I feel like this year I don't trust anybody. I'm going straight up. After the things at the beginning of the year, I learned that I hold grudges and I don't have a lot of trust in people, but I feel like I was focused on the beginning of the year of letting people in, and it was a bad decision. Don't do it. So the next subject is identifying areas for improvement. In which aspects of your life do you feel most dissatisfied or unfulfilled?
I still haven't figured out how to clean and not have to re-clean all the time. Like it's really hard to like I either like I don't do a couple things. It's like I need to do the whole fucking thing at once or nothing at all. So it's like breaking that kind of pattern slowly but surely. Like it's okay if I put the laundry in the drawer and I don't fold it because at least it's not sitting on the ground or sitting in the laundry room. Like just put it in the drawer. You can fold it later. Just put it in the drawer. Hurts my body, but I do it.
Are there specific habits or routines you believe are hindering your personal growth?
I got this voice in my head that sometimes tells me that I suck.
Why are you looking at me like it's me?
No, I was just saying. I was just like, when you got to do something and you get like really excited, and then the little voice in your head is like, but think about all of the terrible things that could happen. And you're like, what? Everybody has like that angel and the devil on their shoulder, and I just have the devil on my shoulder. Like, not the actual figurative devil, but like the one that's like
the cartoon one.
Yeah. And you're just like, it's just like, well, don't do that. That could happen. Don't do this. This could happen. Like, oh,
that's fine. Aspect of my life that I feel most dissatisfied or unfulfilled. Like, I feel like I don't have, like, I'll really enjoy, like, doing, like, working on weddings and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's like, ooh, it's a project. And then the project ends. And I'm like, oh, I was so excited about that project. And, like, I have been lucky enough to help with quite a few weddings, but I feel like that part of me that, like, has, like, oh, I'm going to go work on this and have that continuous projects gone.
Yeah.
Like, obviously, with the business and stuff, you can keep working on it, but it's hard to kind of get, like, feel the satisfaction of it, because I know there's no
celebration at the end.
Exactly. There's no tiny unicorn that says, woohoo!
I know.
And that might just be
Lana. That's my favorite thing. No, there's nothing better than a unicorn being ridden by a yeti that flies away on a rainbow.
And having that kind of wee bit of dopamine to get about, I just feel like I'll do something and it's like, wow, cool. Are there any specific habits or routines you believe on hindering your personal growth? A very strong habit that I have is I don't like people. And it's hindering my personal growth because I am delusional and somehow think that I am going to get into a relationship without having to speak to anybody.
But that is the beauty of all the movies and television shows that come out and say that you're just at the grocery store and Bobby Jim, who fixes the aesthetically pleasing cafe down the street that just happens to need a fundraiser because it's going bankrupt, is gonna approach you
at a Christmas market
store, at a Christmas market or at the grocery store. Yeah,
but it's just like, I feel like with having problems with like situations in the past, I'm very much the type of person that, like, when someone's like, oh, I just like Sarah was trying to get the phone case off of her phone, and I was like, kept on making noises. So I was like, do you just want me to do it? I pinched my finger. She kept pinching it, and then she go, ow, and I'm like, oh my god, do you want me to do it? She's like, no, and I'm like, God, please don't break something.
I wasn't gonna break anything. I'm just like, oh no, like, I'm fine, I'll do it. I'll probably injure myself, but I'm good.
Next one is defining clear and achievable goals.
Okay, one sec. Please hold.
We did a whole episode about goals.
I know, I have notes.
Oh.
Duh.
I was like, maybe we did a whole one.
But I have any notes? Oh, here we go. I have, like, more organized. But that kind of leads into the whole, like, you don't need to do things perfectly and exactly a specific way every time. You can just put the things away or clear off the counters. If you don't have time to clean the whole kitchen, just clear up the counters and wipe them down. Like, just those little things like that along the way, so that way you're not just, like, turning around one day and you're just like, I'm just gonna light a match and just let it burn. Acceptance on how many spoons I have. So the spoon theory is a whole thing. You can look it up online, but so, like, work with the energy that you know that you have and not against it. So instead of waking up, being exhausted, maybe having a shitty night's sleep or being sick, don't make a to-do list of 20 things. Make a list of 5 things, maybe, that you can do that are easily achievable. And don't shit on yourself if you burn out partway through that. Overwhelm the label, getting it out there more. Same with burnt out perfectionist. Finding ways to get sponsors, additional followers, feedback on episodes, new things that we could do, stuff like that. Learn more about social media posting was one of the things I like randomly put down here. That kind of goes in conjunction with them. I feel like you can always read an article or find something else, right, to learn how to break into that fucking algorithm that I don't understand how. Hey, my husband has a post that has over 8,000 on TikTok, and his hashtags on there are so simplistic. But anyways, more Audible. So just like listening to more books, and they don't all have to be like self-help, personal books. Like right now I'm listening to the Britney Spears book just because you can just listen to a story. And the last one was hobby. So just adding to the hobbies, not feeling like I need to have one specific hobby that's like the absolute end all and be all of my life. And whether that's doing some crafts with my kid, watercolors, anything like that. Finding ways to spend time other than
TikTok.
Yeah.
I trying to think about what I would do next year. I want to. Actually, I was talking to Mom about this last night.
Oh,
I had some really bad issue with I don't want to say my whole existence because it sounds really bad, but like I can't listen to the podcast because I don't like the sound of my own voice.
Oh, self-confidence.
I avoid the mirrors all the time.
Self-confidence.
There's a range of things to do with self-confidence that I just I don't have. Mom was like, maybe you need therapy.
Yeah. Well, BetterHelp if you're listening. And you'd like to sponsor this podcast.
I'd love to be a guinea pig.
Right.
But those types of things, I feel like I have more confidence in like when I produce something. Don't want people to criticize it, but I have the confidence while I'm doing it.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, oh my God, this is going great. And then when someone's like, oh, can I see it? I'm like, oh, no. I want to have more of a relationship with reading again.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't want to have to, like, I don't read a lot of self-help books and stuff like that because I just kind of break them down. I'm like, this is dumb.
Yeah, they're not for everybody.
They work for some people.
Yeah.
I'd also like to try to get more into cooking.
Oh, yeah.
And I feel like I have this very odd thing that if I cook something, I'm full. So like that's
a genetic thing because I do the same fucking
thing. I will spend hours
too.
Making dinner. And because I made it and I smelled it the whole time, it's not like I'm like tasting it while I'm going. Nope. I finish dinner, everybody starts eating it, and I just sit on the couch and I just go, oh, I'm not really hungry. So I really want to focus on the like getting into cooking, getting into baking, and actually.
How much more could you get into baking? You already bake really well. Do you mean baking without a purpose?
Like just baking like other things. I usually have to bake for a reason. Like someone's wedding. Yeah, someone's birthday. And I don't really like bake just for fun.
Also, do you mean like baking, even if it's just like a small batch of things and not like 4 batches of cookies?
Well, I'm never mad at batches of cookies, but like thinking of things like I got donut pans last year for Christmas, and I said they were one of my favorite presents, but I haven't used them.
I have donut pans, but I also don't know if they're donut pans or bun pans because they make very large donuts.
And then I'm like, oh, I really would like to do that. And then it's like having that instead of like technology and social media in general.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like I put a lot of weight on like responding to people because I don't want them to think that I'm being like rude.
Mm-hmm.
And so then I'm like, oh my God, I saw that message. I need to answer it now or I'm going to forget.
Yeah.
And then people don't answer for like hours. And I'm like, oh my God, did I piss them off? How do you envision your life being different once you've achieved some of these goals?
Sorry, it's yawning. Less stress. I'm a stress case, and I know I am.
Having a better relationship with food.
Hell yeah.
And water. I don't drink water.
Okay, so I like hardcore drink water from like May. As soon as it hits September 1st, I totally forget.
So I've had quite a few concussions, so I don't really have that like I need to pee alert a lot.
Oh yeah, no, I don't really have that.
And the ironic thing is I make personalized cups for everybody at work.
Oh yeah.
And I didn't make one for myself for almost a year. I mean, everybody else would. And then one day somebody was like, where's your cup? And I'm like, oh, damn it. I never made myself one.
That's fucking funny.
But I want to have a better relationship with myself and not judge myself as much.
Yes.
And eat more than one meal a day.
Yeah.
Like an actual meal. Not like
I love a meal.
36 and pickles.
Set reminders. Do this. So if I have the water alert come up on my phone, I just throw it away. Yeah, you can set one. I tried it. It went on and then it went off within it was like 4 months of me throwing the message away, not caring.
But the other thing is that like with my job, I can't plan.
No.
I can't be like, ooh, I'm going to eat lunch at this time. I'm going to drink water at this time. No, it just has to be like become
also like
part of it.
If you chug a ton of water,
I gotta pee more.
Then you gotta pee more. That eventually regulates, but it's inconvenient because you do physical work. So it's
I know,
like,
I'm like, oh, I gotta go pee, and then
you can't really like drop Granny who you're holding up to assist with walking and be like, one sec, Granny, I gotta take a piss.
Well, exactly. And the ironic thing is, and healthcare workers always say that, I'm telling everybody that they need to make sure to drink their water and they need to eat healthy. I'm sitting there going, what have I had today to eat? Oh, nothing? Oh, well, I've had coffee and an Alani Dew. So that's, I envision setting out to the universe that next year I will hopefully not be as tired. Although I literally have
a disease.
Well, I have a disease and I have ADHD. So like all of the things that cause tiredness, I have. But maybe be a little lower that amount.
Mm-hmm.
I obviously want to continue to promote being like healthy for your kid. I feel like it's easier for me to do it for somebody else.
Oh, that's what I do. I'm like, well, if I do this, I'll be with Charlie longer, hopefully. I won't be in some freak accident.
But like, I hope that so that she doesn't go, whoa, Auntie Eve doesn't eat meals. Auntie Eve doesn't drink water. Why do I need to drink water?
Oh, first off, my kid's favorite beverage in the entire world is water. Her second is milk. And her third is cocoa. And then everything else falls after that.
Yeah, which is so funny. I call myself Auntie Eve. She doesn't even call me by my name. She literally just calls me Auntie.
Yep.
I'm the only one who's Auntie. Everybody else has like
their names after.
Prioritization and focus.
Prioritize.
There we go.
And focus.
Are there particular goals that take precedence over others?
Specific goals?
Like just in general.
Well, yeah, burnt out perfectionist. And
for me,
obviously, my child alive.
I follow I agree with all the business stuff, but I just want to proceed with a different. If I don't get the food thing under wraps, like it kind of keeps you alive.
Yeah, that's very true.
I think also that if you categorize your goals to make them equally a priority, because quitting smoking today isn't going to save your life tomorrow.
Yeah.
But quitting smoking might extend your life. Drinking more water will probably extend your life. So it's more like you're not going to get rewards right now.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe you can make your own rewards. Like, get a gummy. Have a new water bottle.
Have you seen that whole thing where it's like the only reason why we drink so much water and make it part of like our everyday lives is because like how much our water is processed and how much stuff is taken out of it. But then also there was like a huge market for like cups and mugs and all that other stuff. So they kind of just like kept it rolling. And what a lot of people are doing is because like nobody in Europe carries around a water cup. That's like not a thing there. Unless they like watch a lot of American TV or American influencers and stuff like that. What they do is take like a couple pieces of like Celtic flaky salt, if there's people in North America doing this, sorry. And they put it underneath their tongue and then they like drink water, but they're getting as many minerals as they should be getting. So you actually drink less water.
People with POTS do that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
How do your goals align with your long-term vision for life?
I don't know.
Well, you want to work on burnt out
Yeah.
and OTL.
Yep.
Never used the acronym. So how do you feel like if, like, say, like there is, I'm gonna set a consequence. There is like improvement in them and profitability.
Oh, yeah.
How would that align with your long-term vision of life?
Less stress, no debt. Right?
Accountability and support. How do you plan to hold yourself accountable for your resolutions?
Say no more. But try to make it so I'm saying no to other people and get other people to listen. Not just me saying no and cutting myself out of everything and not doing anything for myself while I watch other people do things. And then I gain heavy resentment.
Maybe. To an example?
Like when you you'll buy or do whatever for your kid or your husband.
Mm-hmm.
And then you'll talk yourself out of whatever you really want to get instead of just getting it for yourself and then feeling mass guilt months later because something comes up that costs the same amount. And you're like, oh, if I didn't get this, then this person could have done this or we could have done this. So.
Okay. I was like, but a little bit. Is there someone you trust who can provide support or act as an accountability partner? Hi. I'm the problem to me.
No, you're not the problem. You're always just like, okay, I'm going to be on your ass about this. I'm going to be on your ass about this. Okay.
No, everybody, it's happened. So I'm organized to get certain things for work. And so I have to remind people. And two of my colleagues at work have said, I just need like an Eve assistant because for God's sakes, every time I'm like, I come home and I'm like, oh, I forgot what I was going to do. And then you text me and I'm like, oh my God.
Oh,
reminded.
I'm utilizing reminders a lot more like on the phone, but I'm also setting it to like specific locations because you can do that. So it's like when you arrive home and all of a sudden it's like, boop, boop. It probably doesn't help that I like literally never have my sound on.
I just don't like the noise.
I don't like the noise, but also that's like a 10-year habit that I have of working in a call center where you're not supposed to have your phone on.
Oh, I know.
So originally I was like, oh, that's so weird. And I just like keep checking stuff. And then eventually I just like no longer gave a fuck. And now I'm just like, that's so annoying. Considering now that ringtones and all that and text tones are, well, they're significantly better than what they used to be. The only people who have any songs play, I have Bad Habits right now by Ed Sheeran as my ringtone. And it's just anybody who's on my emergency list that gets through.
Oh my God. Oh, this scares the shit out of me sometimes because of... Well, she had a link to her iPad, so she was in the kitchen without her phone, and it went on, and all of us almost beat ourselves. How do you plan on holding yourself accountable from my resolutions? Probably use reminders more. I want to find something. I like the reminders app. I was actually developing my own app because I was so frustrated on how I had to go to 5 different apps for the same thing.
I know. I'm always searching for like the newest app.
So I don't want to pay for it. I know.
I'm so cheap too. I don't want to pay for it either. One that's really good is like Goblin Tools. If you need help making lists and organizing stuff, it's a free app.
But I want to look into that more, and I want it to be like slow and steady to invoice. I also think I might
I'm sorry, what did you just say?
like slow and steady introduce.
I heard slow and slay. And I was like,
Slow and
what?
slay.
Oh, I was thinking like you went there and I went like, wee, like sliding down a hill.
Oh. I also feel like I need to do more check-ins on my goals. And they don't have to be daily. Wow. Daily. They can be like once a week and introducing those ones. And then is there someone you trust who can provide support or act as accountability? I'm going to be real honest. I'm terrible at asking for help, and I like to be a controlling bitch. So probably not.
Or I'll be like, hey, so you know what? I'm really tired. Okay, we're not doing that.
I have learned that I have a very large issue with when I'm like, oh, I'm going to make plans, or I'm going to do something. And then after work, I'm tired. And I'll say that I'm tired after work. And I either get, oh yeah, totally. Or like a week later, I'll come after work. It's a great day. It's quite nice outside. I have plans to do other things. And then someone's like, oh, well, I canceled those plans because I knew you would be tired after work. Excuse me? No, I want to be energized.
I'm really funny when it comes to plans like that too. Like sometimes a lot of the time I'm like really anxious about them, especially if I feel like I might be late. I hate being late. I'm usually 15 minutes early for a lot of things, but I know what you mean. It's like where you go to find something out and you get all excited and then you go do the thing and you're like, oh. Or the worst is like when they adjust the calendar on something. Like we went to go to this public event where they had you could do Pokemon Go like a year or two ago. And I was like, oh, that'd be like super fun. And everyone was supposed to meet up at like the public library, and it was hosted by the public library. And then they were going to have people read, and like it was just a fun thing. I thought it was weird that it was Father's Day, but I was like, well, that makes sense though. It's a family event. Like we went there, all the doors are closed, the lights are off, and I was like, what is going on? And then my husband found the thing, scrolls down, and goes, oh. They had adjusted it a week prior, and they were like, due to us noticing that it was on Father's Day, adjusting the week prior, and we were like, oh. Then we were super lost on what to do. Then we went to that like car show that was like downtown. Then it torrentially downpoured all over us. It was cold rain too. Torrentially downpoured. Our kid got hungry, and it just turned into this like kerfuffle. And then I was like, why did I make plans? And why did I get excited?
So you said you want to incorporate your plans, like your goals, into your daily / weekly routine, just like everything.
Yep.
How are you going to incorporate them? What are your plans with your goals? Like, what's your planning for the plans?
I mean, whatever I'm designated to, I usually look at like stats and analytics as per Burnt Out Perfectionist or Overwhelm the Label. Organized, I just try to do, like I said, a little bit as I go. Like last week, I was like, well, I don't really have time to do all of this, but I'm going to wipe the counters down. I'm a person who stores pots and pans in the oven and then pulls them off.
Where else are you going to put them?
Well, there's never a cupboard that's big enough. I'm in an older place, and it's like super hard to find a place to put it. It's not like I have a ridiculous amount either. Like I have like a very small, I have like 5 pots.
I didn't count last time.
I'm like not even. And it's just like, oh, I guess I'm going to put these here. So just doing a little bit as I go. Like sometimes when I'm making like dinner, I'll just like open up a cupboard and like go through it. Especially if I get attacked for the ingredients, or it just eats itself out of the cupboard at me. I'm always reading articles like almost daily. I'm learning stuff about like social media postings or watching videos and stuff like that on it. And for Audible, I just kind of do a lot of people. My husband goes to bed early, and obviously my kid is young, so she goes to bed early. So I have a tendency of like putting those on or like a podcast on when I'm like wandering around the house picking stuff up, or if I find myself doing something like coloring or something like that. So, yeah.
For me, I feel like I'm probably gonna go with writing everything out as I usually do, and then I'm gonna research some of the apps and stuff like that I can incorporate, such as like turning like having those parent controls for certain apps, like by certain apps I mean TikTok, and Instagram and stuff like that, and having it kind of flip to the other ones, because I have the 5-minute, it's like free, the 5-minute journal, like, you know, the book. Yeah, there's an app. So I have the app on my iPad.
I'm waiting for that journal app from Apple. I'm so excited.
I know. So I have that on my iPad, but I don't actually use it on my iPad. So finding things that are like that, finding things that have like a sauna that has the cute little things that can like pump me up and make me excited.
There's an app that actually was just created by the ADHD love people to assist with like goals and things. What?
Is that someone that's expensive?
No, they just came out with it. I don't know if it's free. I just saw a thing when I was scrolling through it once I felt looked up.
And then next one's adapting to your challenges. What potential obstacles or challenges do you foresee in your pursuing your resolutions?
The economy.
Economy. If I get another concussion again.
Yeah.
Just don't stop. Over, like, not impulse buying, but instead of adapting something, I'll buy it, and then if it doesn't work out, then I get frustrated. So frustration. How did I previously address and overcome these challenges? I didn't. I really didn't. I just kind of gave up.
I think it's free right now.
Oh, nice.
I don't know if it'll change. So it's their body doubling app.
Oh.
Which I thought was kind of a cool idea. I'm airdropping it to you. But now.
Thank you. And a memento I will open. Why did I airdropping to my phone? Oh, there it is. Hello. Oh, well, that's right. Well done. I did that.
Ah, fuck. What's my password?
Usual.
No, it's not. I think I had to change it when I was setting up my phone and I didn't write it down. Classic me.
Doobie.
Oh,
I also remembered the other one that I was thinking about for a goal that I really want to have is I really need to work on learning a different language.
I always have that, and then it doesn't work out.
So Duolingo has a family pack thing, and you can see other people's progression.
That sounds aggressive.
No, like you can each choose a different language. Usually Mom and I talked about choosing a language so that we could speak in a different language when people soften the store.
I feel like the closest one I could probably learn would be Spanish or Punjabi. Those are cultures that I've been like around like a lot in my life, and I can usually kind of half understand what people are saying.
I kind of want to do Spanish.
Yeah.
I feel like I would really need to commit to it though. French, I'm so bad at it.
Well, the whole thing with French is like where we're located, which is Canada. I know that's a whole country, but where we're located in Canada is the French that's taught to us is actually not proper French. It's actually Canadian French or French Canadian. And if you go over to France and you speak French Canadian, it's almost seen as it's like a different dialect, but they almost look at you like it's way more of a casual version of proper.
Real quick.
Sorry.
Yep. How often do you plan on reflecting on your progress and reassessing your resolution?
I don't know. I don't like being like hyper vigilant and doing it like weekly. I know a lot of people are like, but that's hanging sharp over it. I'm like, that would not work for me. Monthly sometimes works, but like sometimes I blink and the month is almost over, aka November.
Do you remember the 21st night of November?
It's September.
I know. But
okay. And then I don't know, sometimes I'm like quarterly. That might work. I'm really bad at like I don't like setting goals, not because I don't aspire to finish goals, but I feel like things that I choose are always continuous. So if I set some sort of like end point and I'm not at a specific place that I'd want to be, I would like shit on myself.
It's more like a check-in. So if it was like, oh, okay, I want to go to the gym every single day. I started with one day. Okay, I think I can incorporate this into another day. Mm-hmm. And like progressing it instead of being like, I want to go to the gym every day. Does it for a week. I am so sore.
Or I'm like, it's in my life and my goals are based around a lot of other schedules that are more than just my own. So I need to make sure that, you know, once a new activity starts or when somebody has an event thing to go to, that I don't plan to do stuff and then end up not doing it because it just doesn't make sense. Like there's a lot of planning that goes into everything that I do. And I try to factor in 2 whole households in order to do it. And then there's always something that just comes out of fucking nowhere. Like someone else going, oh yeah, we should do blah, blah, blah. And I'm like,
I pre-planned the gym a week ago.
And I'm like, but I have plans. I'll just skip it and whatever. I'm like, oh, okay.
So last one's mindset and motivation. What mindset, like, what are you going to do to stay motivated with some of your goals?
That's always the thing that I have to look for.
I think, like, for me, I kind of want to do, like, for Berta and Otia, we talked about it before. We swap each month of who's, like, in control with quotations around it.
The part, like, the main person.
Like, the social media person, basically. Yeah. And I feel like if we do, I want to find something, again, another app, but have it that, like,
an app. That's why.
But it doesn't exist yet.
Some don't exist, or I'm like, oh, this is great, but if we took this from this and this from this.
Exactly.
And then my brain goes, you know what you should learn? How to code. And then I'm like, whoa, Sarah, calm down.
Is have an attempted goal of, like, not even like reaches because you can't control that, but like how many posts you want to do for a month.
Yeah.
And it doesn't have to be like, do 1 post a week.
Yeah.
But have like the little check mark, and then like once we reach like 25, it like boils up and then it's like a little cauldron.
Oh, you're like a visual thing. Yeah.
Like, I feel like that would keep me more motivated because I'd look at it and be like, oh my God, we're almost there.
I'm like, I don't mind a visual thing, but then sometimes I like leave it alone, and then it's that thing I walk past. So either it just becomes like, say, the wall that it's on, or it becomes that constant reminder that I didn't update that thing, but then I go to do it, and then I got to go do something else. Like, they do progression charts, like, for my daughter's reading and everything. So every book that you read, or every chapter, if you're reading chapter books that they read, they color in like a flower. And last year she was like not into that. She's like, I just want to write it down and then go from there. And this year she's like super into coloring the flowers and stuff.
No, but we need like an adult version. Like, I know that's bullet journaling, but I also feel like I like the visual of seeing it, but then I also need like the notes part of it. That's like, this is like, I posted something on this day.
Mm-hmm.
This is how many views it got this day.
I know I'm like super torn between like apps when you're trying to gauge progression and like just like paper.
Also, like, is it true though? Because the amount of things that are like, this is the average, or this is this, or this is this.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of the adventures that we have gone on this year, there hasn't been like a book. I'm like, this is how you do it. It's like, oh, okay, we did it. And then it's like, did you remember to do these 5 other things associated with it?
Oh, yeah. Like, there's so much bullshit that's out there. Like, so much bullshit where it's like, all you need is this, and you can start, aka a podcast. And it's like, you do need minimal things, but there's a lot of things that you have to do. And there's actually like several things, even though they're low cost, that you actually do have to pay for in order for it to go anywhere.
Like, every month you got to pay for the RSS feed.
Yeah.
You got to pay for, if you're using a editor, or if you're doing yourself, and if you're using a certain editing software
for like social media posts and stuff like that. Like if you're using Canva, if you're using Adobe, if you're using like any of that stuff, then like it does add up, and that's stuff that you technically do need.
Yeah, exactly.
in order to complete the task. So it's like it may be free, but then there's also like time. Like your time isn't free. You're investing your time.
Also, like, if something, say you buy like a cheaper microphone, if that breaks, you have to buy it again.
Yeah.
Are you going to reach out to people? Are you going to get sponsored? How are you going to get sponsored? How are you going to get people to follow?
What about freaking chairs and a table?
Yeah. I really wanted to do a chair and a table.
Yeah, I know you did, but that's
We had a kitchen table and it was so sketchy.
Oh, it was. But the whole thing is like not everything is as it seems. So like even when you're doing stuff like overwhelm the label, it's like, oh, I got to get this. Oh, but then I got to export it to this type of file or convert it to this. And then don't forget to build the brand kit on your website builder. Oh, don't forget to do this. And there's all these little things along the way. Or you're like, how do I get it to convert? And a lot of folks are like, oh, you do this or do this. And then you do all the things and it doesn't work. And you're like, well, how do I know if I'm doing it right? And it's like a pit of knowledge is the best way to say it, is you just constantly rabbit holing trying to find a way.
Or you like follow that like checklist that all websites have.
Yeah.
That are like, do this, do this, do this, and everything's great. Well, you do all of them, and like 6 months later, it's like, Sarah sent me a text and she's like, did you do this? And I'm like, what is that? Like, it's not even like, oh, I forgot to do it and I'm going to lie. No, I genuinely was like, where the hell was that?
And what is this?
Or they don't talk about like a lot of like, I understand it's like splashy and it's like easier to do. Like, here's 3 steps to make $1 million in a month.
Oh my God, yeah. I think I'm going to do some TikToks on those like little things, because there's some of them that I've like tried out just to see where it goes and like which ones are actually worth investing your time in. Like that you can sit and do while you don't give a fuck. The Google surveys take like 3 seconds.
If you
The post surveys are like 15 to 20 minutes of your life. And I understand there's a lot of people who just sit there and like hit the buttons and don't actually care. But like, I can't do that when I have a task. Like one of the, it was like IPSOS or whatever. I just call it IPOS. It sent me a survey and it was all about non-dairy coffee creamer. So I won't say what company it was for because there was a couple different ones. But I will say like that was the product. And then it was like, what flavors would you like? This. Well, I'm super engaged in that survey because this could be something potentially that comes out of the store that I'd be able to use. So I'm not one. I know there's a lot of people who like might build a tool that just like a bot that goes through and checks it all off. And then they accumulate the points and go ahead and do that. Or they make their thing super bland, or they misrepresent themselves. That way they get more surveys and all this other stuff. And I'm just like, but why? I have a huge issue with like lying or being deceitful in order to make money. Because I just see that as a sin, to be totally frank.
And on that positive note, thank you for listening to our rant and rave about the New Year's resolutions.
It wasn't really a rant and rave. It was almost a resolutions episode.
It was almost.
Almost.
It was like a goals New Year's.
It was just like overall. It was a reflection.
If you'd like to listen to more about us, please check out our other 23 episodes.
I thought you were going to say, no, we're on, by the time this one comes out, it'll probably be the 27th or 28th episode.
Oh,
yeah.
Available on Spotify,
Apple Podcasts,
Amazon Music,
iHeartRadio,
YouTube,
RSS feeds,
Pandora.
I don't think, is Pandora still a thing?
Apparently it is.
Oh.
I think I accidentally signed us up for it.
Oh, well, looky there.
We're also on Instagram.
Oh, we're doing it. I was like, are we doing it? Or, okay. TikTok,
Pinterest,
and Facebook. I love how you put your hand to your face for me for that one. On all of them, we are burnt out perfectionist, except for Instagram, we are burnt.out.perfectionist.
I'll try.
I know you try this.
There was a lot of them. You can also send in if you have any comments or if you want to respond. We do frequently check our DMs.
Yeah, and our email, which is burntoutperfectionist@gmail.com.
Yes.
Yeah.
We do try our best to answer them. I do have the alerts on my phone, so I do actually look at them.
I do as well.
And thanks for listening.
Please like, share, and subscribe.
I think you can also follow.
Yeah, like, share, subscribe, follow. Oh, we're also on YouTube. That's the one that we forgot.
I say YouTube.
Did you say YouTube?
Yeah, it was after iHeartRadio.
Oh, okay.
That one I was really excited.
Well, fudge. Yeah.
But thanks for listening. Have a great day. And always stay warped and twisted as ever.
Peace.